Wednesday morning the show gets on the road. You know, we've got Merkel opening speech, and then we've got all the others, and the head of the U.S. Treasury, Tim Geithner, will be there, the head of the European Central Bank, a lot of bankers, a lot on the euro crisis, and also a lot of material on where the opportunities will be. That's not all doom and gloom. There'll be people looking for niche opportunities, and a big presence this year of the president of Nigeria, South Africa, Tanzania, so and also the Mexican president. But from the big BRIC countries, no presidents from Brazil, Russia, India. They're not showing up, and a small representation from China at the political level.
And what do you think is going to be the key focus?
The key focus will be the business community will want to get the pulse, whether the policymakers will get their act together on this flip-flopping on trying to get the world economy back into the straight and narrow. So it's been a nervous period, and I want to see if the Europeans can deliver on the policy coordination among the Euro countries. And there's still a lot of unease on whether all these efforts to get the U.S. economy into a sustainable growth period, whether that's going to happen. There's a lot of concern there. And a bit of nervousness that maybe if the European and U.S. economies go into a double-dip recession, and there are fears of that, that perhaps the emerging countries that were not affected in the first crisis in 2009 might be affected this time round because they'll have less leverage than they had 3 years ago.
Do you think that's why the BRIC presidents aren't coming? They don't want to be put in any tight spots or asked any difficult questions?
Well, for the Chinese, it's the Chinese New Year. It's a big event, and so they've been there at the prime minister level, premier level in the last few years. They're staying away. They're probably seeing this as something that the Europeans and the Americans need to sort out. Why should they lose some political points? They're going to watch it from the ringside from far away, and leave it up to the Europeans and the Americans to coordinate, basically. And there'll be a lot of other issues, of course. The big CEOs will be there, and from corporations. Interesting to see how they see the outlook, and the gut feeling is that will be a slower year than last year, a slowdown of the world economy. So it's all a question of confidence. So it's really hard to predict. Last year, confidence at the beginning of the year was bullish, and then, of course, what happened in the second half of the year, the world economy lost steam, and that's where we're at right now. And it's an election year in France, an election year in the United States, an election year in Russia. So there's a lot of there'll be a lot of positioning and people trying to read where things will fall, and of course there's the sideshow and geopolitical meetings that take place. There'll be a meeting between the president of Israel and the prime minister of Palestine, and other bilateral meetings, and there it's hard to predict what will happen. But most important is to see the mood, and there you've got to be on the ground to see if people are nervous or they're going skiing for the day.